So I was doing that, and I'd get home at 4 a.m., so it's like I couldn't even use the computer lab to write my papers. And then I'd have class again at 8. So somewhere between 4 and 8, I'd have to wash off all the dirt, maybe sleep, but like who needs sleep, right? And try and get my homework done. And then I'd have class from, 8 to 1, whatever I was doing, and then I'd go to my other jobs, and then go back to FedEx again for 10. And I kept going and going, and it was a good time until, all the dirt from FedEx and the lack of sleep and all that other stuff, I got really sick, and I started throwing up blood, so don't do that. And I had to quit all my food service jobs, because, nobody wants you around food when you're doing that. That's not sanitary. So that set me back even more, because then I didn't have these jobs and I couldn't make that money. And so I had pretty much always a hold on my account. So I couldn't, right? Those of you see your advisor, you know what that hold means. So I couldn't register for classes. And the other thing that the hold meant, since I wasn't working, couldn't afford it, was that, well, I was still working, but not all the food jobs. But that hold meant that I got basically kicked out for housing, because I couldn't, apply for it by pick date. Y'all know how that works. So I needed to find a place off campus. And I was excited about it, because I figured I'd save some money not living on campus. I worked in the dining hall, so I was like, that's my food. I don't need a meal plan, right? Because meal plans are expensive. But so then I moved off campus. But here's the thing: nobody told me you needed a cosigner. Did y'all know that you need a cosigner if you want an apartment or just crazy good credit? Show of hands. Who knew that? All right. Well, y'all are smarter than me already, so that's good. So I went to go move off campus, but I didn't have a cosigner, and so I couldn't find anywhere to live. Luckily for me, I had this little Dodge Shadow, 94 car that I got from a junkyard. It was a cute little thing, except it didn't have brakes or headlights or heat or any of the essential things that you need in a car. Didn't have that. But it was a stick, so I could just downshift and e-brake, so that was good at least. So I had that. So I didn't have anywhere to go, so I started living in it. So that would have been when it was really good to have heat, would have been when I was in the car, but over the summer that didn't matter that much. AC would have been good too, but so I was living in that car for a while. And then, I found a place to live, because I needed to, because Yukon cops kicked me out of the parking lot where I was living, so that was also fun. And I found a place to live, but it was really sketchy. I'm not even going to go into it, but one day I came home to cop cars, and they were like, you gotta go now. I told you it was sketchy. So I left, and I was back in the car trying to find a place to live. And finally, I found an apartment that would take me without a cosigner. But they wanted triple the first month's rent, stuff like that. Y'all know how that works, right? Again, smarter than me. So I paid that, and that just wiped out my bank account, because I'm over here, trying to pay for my books and pay for school and food and clothes and things that, a lot of people don't think about. And so I did that, but the thing is then my car broke. And because I just paid 3 times the amount for rent, I couldn't afford to get my car fixed. So I started walking to campus, and it was a good hour walk. And I walk fast, let me tell you. I used to do track. I'll book it. But it was a good hour walk to and from school each day. And at this point, I quit FedEx because I was just tired of the dirt and the boxes. So I'm walking to and from school, and all rain or shine. It's the thing that your parents tell you, where it's I walked uphill both ways to school. That's what I was doing. So now I have a good story. So I'm walking, getting chased by a dog. That was a good day. I got chased by a dog, and my bag broke, and all my stuff spilled everywhere. But it was good, because I was a Yukon 101 mentor. That's our URI 101s, yeah. And I got to use the story to be super motivational for them and tell them, I made it to class, and this is what I went through, so y'all better come. So that was good. So I'm walking, and I still don't have the computer or the printer or the textbooks or, anything when you really think of your typical college student. So I don't know, what do we think of, Uggs, North Face, Beats by Dre, I don't know, whatever you think of, I didn't have any of that. So then, finally I kind of got it all together, and I'm thinking, I've got my life in order. I mean, I'm still struggling, I'm still walking, but I figured out a schedule where, since I'm not working nights anymore, I can try and use the computer lab. But my professors were really not understanding at all. Um, and neither was my advisor. So those of you who have me for an advisor, you know I'm like really understanding, maybe, hopefully, maybe you hate me, I don't know. But that's why, because one day I went to my advisor, you know, those mandatory advising meetings, get your hold lifted, yeah. So I went, and he was basically like, okay, so you're a psych major, and I'm neuroscience, my concentration's neuroscience, him, not me. And he's like, I basically know absolutely nothing about anything that you want to do ever, but I'm going to tell you that with your grades the way they are, you're not going to get into grad school ever. Okay, I had a 2.9, I didn't think it was that bad. Even as an advisor now, I still don't think that's that bad. And he also, I tried to explain to him, well, you know, this stats class, you need to use the CD, and you need this book, and you need the internet, and I don't have any of these things. And he basically just looked at me and was like, why are you in school? And, you know, I'm explaining the whole 80-hour-a-week thing, and like being homeless, and like all these other things. And he basically told me that I was in the wrong place, and that I needed to get all these things. You know, it's like a Barbie doll with her dream house accessories and stuff. That's basically what he thought I should be. It's like, all right, you didn't come with your accessories, go back in the box and come back out when you have them. And what I was looking for was somebody to, you know, to help me, basically. It's like, you're my advisor, advise me. How do I get my life together? Tell me about this cosigner thing that I couldn't figure out. And for me, like, that was a make or break moment, you know, where I was just like, I could have taken it to heart, and I could have been like, you know, why am I here? He's right, I shouldn't be here, I don't have the resources. Or, you know, I could be like, screw you, I'm gonna get it together and show you. So I did the second one, and basically, you know, that ended up working out really well. So like, I don't want you all to think this is a depressing story, because it's not. I ended up making Dean's List my whole senior year, and I was like, yeah, that's right, screw you. I don't even remember his name. I like wanted to go back, and I switched advisors after that. But so anyway, so thinking about kind of, you know, like all these things that were going on, right? So then add roommate issues on top of it. So a lot of times, since I had to walk the hour to campus, I would just end up sleeping on the floor in my friend's room. Totally not allowed, right? Yeah, no, maybe, I don't know, we wouldn't do that. But I would end up sleeping on the floor in their room, so I was kind of like their roommate, even when I lived off campus. But, you know, if you've got some random person sleeping, well, not totally random, but random person sleeping on your floor every night, that's going to cause some issues, right? So that was, you know, something that we had to navigate. But even before that, when I lived on campus, I always had roommate issues. So, you know, my first roommate was really well off, and she got really offended that I couldn't hang out. She had no job, very few responsibilities, and she was just, you know, down to party 24/7. We all know those people, right? Just doesn't matter. Tuesday night, let's go, bar. And she was like, you know, she couldn't understand why I wouldn't go to the bar with her on Tuesday, or why I'd ask her to borrow her books, because we were the same major. She's like, why don't you get your own? And she would get really offended. And that caused a lot of issues with us. You know, if you don't want to give me your books, you don't want to give me your books. But she took it personally and felt like I was really needy and didn't understand what I was going through. And this is a fun one. So since I was working all the time, I had limited time to shower. So it was interesting for the roommate, I guess. But, you know, she didn't really feel as though she wanted to be in a room with somebody who didn't shower. I shower now, don't worry, I did it before I came here. Hair's still wet. But it kind of turned into a thing where everybody on the floor knew, right? Because we all know what happens on floors and people talk. So that kind of created some problems. And I had another roommate who was really annoyed by how messy I was. But the thing is, it wasn't that I was messy, it's that I was trying to cram every single possession I had in the world into half a dorm room, right? How big are the dorm rooms? How many of you bring stuff home or swap stuff out? Show of hands. Yeah, okay, so pretty much all of you. So, you know, that's what my roommates were doing. They had the ability to go home and be like, oh, well, all my winter stuff's going to go home now, and I'm going to bring in my summer stuff. And I'm over here like, I have my violin from 4th grade and, you know, like all my stuff, just trying to cram it in into half a dorm room. You know, and then there's always the situations of going home for break, where everybody else is either going home or going away, and I either can't afford to or I have nowhere to go. And at first it was like, you know, I could just dodge the questions, maybe I tried to tell a couple people, but I guess one of my friends told the rest of the people on the floor about my situation, thinking it would kind of like helped things, but it just kind of got really awkward because she told them too much, and so they didn't know how to react to me. So, I walked in one day, and all the girls on my floor were like, oh my god, our parents are so cute, we should have like a parents club. And then I walked in, and it was like stop talking. And it was really awkward because I didn't care. I don't care. I'm happy y'all have family and you're happy with them and you're going home. But I think they felt guilty that they kind of had that ability and I didn't. And things were kind of never the same after that. So, okay, so at this point, I feel like y'all, are probably thinking, what does this have to do with me? Why am I here? You probably have better things to do at 8 o'clock at night on, what's today, Monday? On Monday. So, but, the point of me telling you this story is to show you that you never know who's walking among you. So, I didn't share these things with people because I didn't, like I said, I didn't want to make them feel bad. I didn't want to make them feel guilty. I don't want to make any of you feel bad. Like, I see some of you look a little upset. I'm sorry. But, I just didn't feel like it was something I needed to share. I'm there to learn. I'm there to do my thing. And